First, I would like to acknowledge our sponsors, for without them, this event would not be possible. Our premier sponsors this evening are Clayton County Government, Aerotropolis Atlanta, and Georgia Power. We have concrete sponsors as well. That's Four Winds Construction, Heritage Construction and Development, Green Valley Golf Group, Solo Media Public Relations, Loggins, Kern, McCombs, and Freestyle Productions. Please give our sponsors a round of applause. Now I want to present to each of you a little information that you might not have known about Clayton County. And if you did, well, you're probably on the right track. MARTA. Clayton County is working with MARTA to expand rail service to all of its citizens, with plans to expand Norfolk's Southern Line through Forest Park, Monroe, Jonesboro, and ending in Lovejoy. Clayton County Public Schools continue to gain notoriety. Recently, both Stillwell School of the Arts and Elite Scholars Academy were both recognized as top schools in Georgia by the U.S. News and World Reports. That amazing band you heard out there, that's Stillwell. Talk about award winning. Clayton County Water Authority is at the top of the list. They brought home several Georgia Association of Water Professionals Awards, with Shoals Creek Water Reclamation Facility winning 2017 Wastewater Plant of the Year. And because of their training and attention to detail, Clayton County Fire and Emergency Services is ranked among the top in the nation. They recently received accreditation from the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. And as we all know, tourism is a big part of who we are here in Clayton County. Our yearly tourism impact is over $1.4 billion. But we can do better. And that's what we're here to do tonight. Our goal is to build upon what Commissioner Franklin Warner's umbrella platform of Together Clayton Excels, bringing the county and surrounding communities together, streamlining communications and partnerships, generating economic development. Clayton County has over 17,000 acres of undeveloped land at an appraised value of over $1.3 billion. Let's start the conversation on how we can propel the community forward to the community we all envision. Thank you. Now, a woman of many talents, Commissioner Felicia Franklin Warner is an active advocate for the community and is dedicated to all things Clayton County. A little tidbit about Commissioner Warner: she was Miss University of Miami and is a talented songstress, often traveling around the Southeast in the nation. As certified county commissioner, Commissioner Felicia Franklin Warner was selected to serve on the executive board of the Georgia Association of Black County Officials and appointed as a member of the International Economic Development Task Force for the National Association of Counties. People often ask me, how does she do what she do? I say it's her calling to fulfill. Without further ado, I present to you Felicia Franklin Warner, County Commissioner for District 3.
Good evening, everyone. Now I'm going to do like the preacher would do in church for those that go. We got so many people in the back. So let's get you to move on up a little bit further, up to the front area. Especially those that are part of Clayton County. I want to first of all welcome everyone for being here this afternoon. It is such a pleasure to be able to have our third Community on the Rise event. This particular event was born out of the necessity to be able to meet the needs of so many builders and developers to make sure that we communicate effectively what's expected in Clayton County and how we want to build better relationships with those that are coming to invest in Clayton County. Now, you all know I am not a politician, as we were just sharing just a minute ago. And thank you for that introduction, Mr. Solomon, for introducing me. And he has put on a phenomenal event on our behalf tonight. So I'm going to stop. And before we go any further, we did this with a staff of like 2 to none other than Mr. SHAHEEN Solomon, who just came aboard. Yes, and along with our staff from Do It back there, that's making sure that everyone can hear us and they see the PowerPoints. And then our wonderful volunteer, Miss Ayana. Ayana, are you in the room? She's probably out there running around, but she's done an absolutely phenomenal job. And thank you to all of our volunteers. We also want to stop and thank every one of our sponsors once again. There were some people that joined us when we first came together to make sure that we communicated effectively what we're looking for here in Clayton County and who we really are in Clayton County. So I do want to ask one of my dear friends, Michael, if you would stand up. Thank you so very much for being here today. Mr. Mike Crawford, who started out with our very first one. Along with someone that I tell you, they call it the arena. We were in the arena when they were talking about developing this one subdivision. He's not here tonight, but he sponsored the bar outside is none other than Mr. John Swiniger of Green Valley Golf. We thank him as well. And now I got to get to my sisters, and I call them my sisters. One of the things that I've really been blessed to do being here is build relationships. It doesn't matter what we do on a day-to-day basis if we're not building relationships. At the end of the day, that's the one thing that we do have, and that's the purpose of this event as well. So I want to say thank you once again to one of our key sponsors and my dear sisters, none other than, first I'm going to say Lisa Smith for seeing a vision of this with Georgia Power. And I'm going to tell you, Tangela Martin, we are stuck like glue. And I'm not going to sing that song today, but thank you so very much. Give Tangela a hand for helping to make this happen. And then another good friend of mine and their firm, none other than Gina McCombs of Loggins, Kearns, and McCombs, for making sure that we're in line. Before we go any further than that, I have to recognize all elected officials this evening. And I would first like to recognize none other than our chairman, who will be coming up in just a little bit. Chairman Turner is here with us this evening. We also have our Mayor Pro Tem, none other, well, you're going to introduce a little bit later, Ms. JEANELL Bridges, if you would please. From the City of Morrow, again, the City of Morrow with our city manager is here today as well. You're going to hear a little bit from her as well with her pretty shoes on. So SYLVIA, one more woman of Clayton County. And with that, we want to say thank you to the City of Morrow for allowing us to be able to come into this space. I want to backtrack a little bit because when we first had the event, we had it actually at Arts Clayton. And my relationship with Arts Clayton began back when my son, who's now in college, was just a wee little mate. And that is Christian Franklin Warner. And I want to say thank you to Linda Chrissy, who's in the audience today with Arts Clayton and Tourism as well, because she's one of the ones that helped make this happen as well. And I do remember seeing Representative Stovall. If you ever need something done, and you want to get it done, that's the woman to call. Representative Stovall was one of the ones that worked with our next person I'm going to thank, hand in hand with Clayton County Board of Commissioners, all of our cities, along with our chairman, to make sure that we at least got our money from that airport from the state of Georgia to 2019. Thank you, Lord. So thank you so much for your efforts and all of your support. We also would like to recognize our school system that is here today, none other than Dr. Beasley, Morrissey Beasley. And you're going to have a chance to hear from Dr. Beasley, along with Dr. Smith is here with him as well. And of course, with the school system, we've got to make sure the water is flowing. And we want to say thank you to none other than Mr. Bernard Franks, the newest guy that is leading Clayton County Water Authority. Now, to all of those in Clayton County, I saw in the audience none other than our chief and his staff. Go ahead and stand up, Chief. You're going to have you come and give a greeting as well. That's our Chief Roberts here, and Deputy Chief Parks is there with them. We brought everybody here out today. Go ahead and stand up so the folks can see you, sir. It's all right. And then we also have Deputy Chief Danicus here today. And the one that I know everybody want to talk to dealing with homes, none other than our Code Enforcement Director, Captain Palm. If I gave you a promotion, forgive me. Now, as you heard about our fire department, and they actually are helping to save us a lot of money on our insurance, and you know that I work in that industry, so I'm so glad to be able to recognize this evening none other than our Chief of Fire, Mr. Landry Murkison, along with his amazing staff. staff, you all are going to hear from everyone. Y'all go ahead and stand up. And our, yes, and our CFO, Ms. Ramona Thurman, even came out tonight. I had to bribe her, y'all, but she came out tonight. So I'm not going to prolong this evening, and I got to introduce a friend of mine that told me I thought this program was supposed to start at 5:30. Let me make this announcement. This was a reception, but I'm going to go ahead and let you all know the reception means you were supposed to come out, enjoy yourselves a bit, then come in. But my good friend, none other than the president of Clayton State University, Dr. Timothy Hines. Tim Hines is here this evening. Get a chance to hear from him as well, along with many others. Once again, thank you to all of our sponsors. SHAHEEN has been charged with making sure that everybody's thanked appropriately. First, I want to call up to the stage for greetings really quick. Our chairman, and then directly after our chairman is none other than the City of Monroe representatives. Come on up, Chairman Turner.
Good evening. All right, I bring you greetings on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners and the citizens of Clayton County. We are ecstatic you are here. You know, Commissioner, you probably didn't see a couple others, but I want to right quickly throw out Mr. Patrick Njiki from Economic Development. Where is he at? Oh, he's on the corner. Brecca Johnson's with him as well. And Mr. Kafani is here as well from Economic Development. So, I bring you greetings. I'm so happy that you are here because there are so many great things happening in Clayton County. For those developers and investors, if you're sleeping on Clayton County, then shame on you. We are a great county. We are strategically located on the south side of Clayton County, of Atlanta rather, and we have so many great opportunities here. I always refer to Clayton County as that diamond in the rough. And once you start knocking off the coal, you're going to see that diamond that we are. And it's going to be well worth it and well worth your time. Let's give Commissioner Warner a round of applause for having the vision to hold these time meetings, because we are truly going somewhere. We don't need to worry about what happened yesteryear.
That's right.
Let's focus on the future, because our future is bright. And it's only bright because of people like you who are sitting out in the audience who are going to make some things happen. And know that your Clayton County government, number one, is open for business, and number two, we're going to be business friendly. We're going to find a way to resolve issues and not tell you that we can't do it. But know also that we want quality. We want something that's going to complement Clayton County, be an asset to Clayton County, to make Clayton County shine. Because anything less is unacceptable. So thank you for being here, and God bless.
And I saw another one of our sponsors walk in the room who's been behind a lot of the planning of this event as well. Before we do that, I was just made a note that Madeline, I think you're in the audience as well. Go ahead and stand up, Madeline. There you go. Yay! Y'all forgive me, I do wear glasses. I really do. So, but thank you so much for being here this evening, because without the work of you and your team, I don't know where we would be. So I thank you for all that you have done. But again, I saw another one of our sponsors and brains behind this event. None other than Mr. Shannon James, who's the new president and CEO of Aerotropolis. Thank you so much for being here this evening, and he'll be here to network, and he's going to be part of our panel as well. So next up to the stage, I want to bring up none other than greetings from the City of Monroe. If you would please join me.
One great thing about hosting events is that means you get your 5 minutes, right? So in Monroe, where the name of the game for all of us is economic development and understanding all of the facets of economic development. Because to me, it's everything, right? It's who makes it, who buys it, who sells it. That's what it looks like, how safe they feel when they go there, what they can get when they get there. Whether it's homes or parks or path systems, not just retail and product. In Monroe, we spent maybe too many years waiting for it to come all by itself. Well, we're glad to say that we have a council in place now that's really ready to build the pieces that will do a better job of attracting what we want. So to that end, I want to introduce our Mayor Pro Tem, JEANELL, who leads the charge of that council, who understands that it's time to invest in us while we're expecting others to come and invest with us.
Thank you very much. I don't know why she insisted on me coming, because she said it all. But we are so proud of what's going on in Clayton County and in the city of Morrow. We are actually moving forward. You know, we have people that said, well, I've lived here 50 years, but it started changing even then. So we're looking forward to the change. We're very excited about what's going on in Clayton County and in Morrow. But what makes me happy today is seeing all of you in our Morrow Center. Thank you so much for being here, and we wish Felicia and everyone else much, much success. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do apologize, I did not mean to also overlook our President of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Jeremy Stratton, is in the audience this evening as well. And if you all would please help me, if there's anybody else that you see with Felicia, you need to know they're here. And yes, I do go by Felicia. I'm elected in the role as commissioner, but we are all here to serve. And please just let me know. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and move on and bring up our recognition of our sponsors, our highlighted sponsors, and give them a minute to be able to greet the audience. I want to bring up first none other than Mr. Shannon James, President and CEO of Aerotropolis Atlanta.
Good afternoon or evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. All right, let's see. This is time. It is our time. Again, my name is Shannon James. I am the President and CEO of the Aerotropolis Atlanta Alliance. We are a public-private partnership. We are devoted to making our region more economically competitive. And through that is the strength of partnership and collaboration. We're much stronger as a fist than we are individually, right? And when you operate in silos, historically, we've seen the results of that. And so now our organization is a true public-private partnership that is dedicated to now the revitalization of the South Fulton and Clayton County areas. And what's crazy is that our momentum is building. People are hearing about our excitement, what we're looking to bring to the market. So we've got areas like DeKalb County just banging down our door, but we've got to take care of home first, right? And the home is Clayton County. Home is South Fulton. And so very much so, we're in the bedside of our top contributors in the city of Morrow. So I want to give our great partners in the city of Morrow a round of applause. They have no question shown an early adopter as a city, a municipality, a vision and partnership. And I've been spending a lot of time with Sylvia. We've been touring almost every nook and crack of the city of Morrow, and we've been putting our brains together and strategizing, and I'm extremely excited about the potential in the city of Morrow. Matter of fact, I may be moving a little fast here, but I'll tell you that we are pushing to try and start an accelerator program. I think everyone is familiar with incubators and accelerators. I see you, Dr. Tim Hines. And so I've been fortunate to participate in several different types of incubators and accelerators. I'm a former commercial banker. And so there is a very unique organization that has been extremely proficient around motivating and building small businesses from the root. You heard our Mayor Pro Tem and our City Manager talk about growing within. Well, we're going to strategize around growing within. And so our first accelerator for the Aerotropolis will be right here in the city of Morrow. So we're extremely excited. We're extremely excited. But it's the start of many things to come. I will tell you that. So I won't be before you long because this is a passion of mine. And but more importantly, it's good to see all of the many faces in the room who are obviously dedicated to the growth and development in the area of Clayton County, but more specifically in the city of Morrow. I cannot move forward without recognizing my Vice Chair, Ms. Lisa Smith with Georgia Power. Lisa is phenomenal. I tell you, it is a pleasure every day building relationships and just being a sponge next to Lisa. So we're excited, we're fortunate, and I see several of our supporters, board members, Chairman Turner, Dr. Morris Beasley, Dr. Tim Hines, I can go on and on. So as you can tell, we are really looking for our leaders to now be the rising tide that lifts all boats. So it's our time, Clayton County. It is our time. Thank you.
Did y'all hear that? It's our time. All right, now y'all know I made a big whoop-whoop. Our COO is here today, none other than Mr. Dietrich Stanford. Please stand up, sir. You can tell somebody has an amazing heart and is committed to the work, because as opposed to saying, Felicia, you didn't introduce me, he said, don't forget about Mr. Keith Rowland, who's our Assistant Director of DOT right there. Thank you so much. Now, coming to the stage before we break for our dinner, everybody grab dinner and come back in, I want to bring up none other than one of our top sponsors once again, my dear friend, and one that has really allowed me to be able to have this event today, along with my dear friend Tangela Martin. I want to bring you both up. Miss Lisa Smith and Tangela Martin. Tangela, come on, Tangela, please.
Good evening. This is such a positive event and a positive crowd, and I feel inspired tonight. I am Lisa Smith. I'm the Regional Director for Georgia Power, and I get asked often, what do you do? What does that mean? My primary goal and my team's goal is to focus on the community. We know a thriving community means a whole lot in terms of economic development, workforce development. And so we are always honored to support events like this and leaders like Commissioner Warner. So thank you all for being here tonight, and it is our privilege to be here with you. But I do want to recognize Tangela Martin. She's really the person who did all the work, and it's great to have a great team. So with that, I want to give her an opportunity to say something.
Hello everyone, I just want to say it's so great to see everyone out here tonight. Initially when Felicia Commissioner and I started talking, I said, let's do something different. And the vision was to get people in. And it looks like the turnout worked for us. New location, more people, and it's so good to see people out here. I work with Georgia Power with Lisa Smith, and I have the honor of working with builders and developers on the new construction side of the business. So if you see any new development going on in Clayton County or the surrounding areas, I work with the builders to help bring our infrastructure in. And I'm delighted to be here tonight to support Commissioner Warner.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Renee Knight, are you in the audience? All right, now just as we bring up one of our sponsors, because I had one of the most amazing conversations, Clayton County has a rich history, and we have those who have come into Clayton and were building before, and you know we were the last to return from the recession, but it's okay. But we've got some folks that have weathered the storm with us and been here through it all, and in that conversation it was brought up, y'all need to talk about all the great things with Clayton County. So just as I bring one of our sponsors up, I want to recognize our new communications director, none other than Ms. Valerie Fuller and her team. Graylin, thank you all for being here tonight, and we will be getting our story out even more. But I want to bring to the stage one of our sponsors, the owner of Heritage Construction.
I'm so glad to see everybody here to care about the people in Clayton County and caring about the developments in Clayton County. And we do appreciate everybody here tonight, and thank you very much for allowing us to be here. Thank you.
Before we go forward, I do want to recognize none other than Councilwoman from Newnan, Georgia. Ms. Cynthia Jenkins is with us this evening, and she's also with Habitat for Humanity. And we also have our Commissioner-elect, none other than Mr. DeMont Davis, who's here and made time to come here this evening as well. make sure that you know everyone so you know who to talk to. We want to make sure that we, that we have those relationships built as we begin to build Clayton County and get even greater and greater and move on. So now we're going to go on to our presenters that are just going to come up and speak briefly. We're going to, before we go into our panel, I promise you this part of it is very short because we really wanted people to be able to mix, mingle, to enjoy themselves, and enjoy a nice meal, and get to know one another. But I've got to bring up the man that has taken the charge of not only educating one of the largest school districts in the state of Georgia, but also one that's been able to come in and make sure that everyone knew who Clayton County was, and able to set a precedent that we have some of the best children in Clayton County, and that our children deserve nothing but the best when it comes to resources and making sure that they have every opportunity available to them. And one leader who has come forth and said, how in the world do you have the world's busiest airport in a county, and we've got to make sure that our kids have opportunities to fly all over the world? So I want to bring up to the stage none other than the good Dr. Reverend, Mr. Morcease Beasley. Come on up, Dr. Beasley. He's the superintendent of Clayton County Public Schools.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Felicia. We appreciate the opportunity to be here and participate on the panel. All I will say to you is this. I was at an event. Some of you were at the event, and someone said to me, well, I hope things are improving in Clayton County schools. I said, well, clearly you hadn't been around the barn a little while, because we're no longer hoping in Clayton County. We know things are improving in Clayton County schools. We just want you to know that's why it's important for us to be here today, that as the Solomon has shared, we've got two of the best schools in the nation right here in Clayton County. I want you to know some of our neighboring counties didn't have any on the list. Hint, hint. I want you to know we have some of the highest performing schools in the state of Georgia right here where? Clayton County. I want you to know that our teachers are teaching up, our principals are leading, and it's just a matter of time before we have more schools on every good list. You all should know this. When the governor released his list of struggling, if you will, failing schools, whichever word you like to use, it was a 4-page list. Clayton only had one school on the list, and guess what? That school had the highest score on the list, and they only made the list by 0.2 of a point. We don't even anticipate that school being on the list. Grad rates will be coming out next week, I believe, right, Jada? Dr. Smith, grad rates are getting closer to the state. All schools will be above 70% this year for the first time in the history of Clayton County. You should know. You should know we'll have several schools in the 80s. Oh yeah, you all don't know how big that is if you hadn't been in Georgia. Most schools in Georgia wish they could get close to 80% graduation rates. That's happening in our county. You should be very proud of your high schools. You should be very proud. We're closing the gap. Did you know this? That our elementary schools outperform 83% of the elementary schools in growth in the state that are comparable to our schools? Did you know that? See, you need to know. You need to know. So if you're not connected to our communications efforts, Jada, stand up so people can see you. I know you're eating. Stand up. That's our communications officer. If you're not getting the information, that means that you are not in the know. You are not in the know. Clayton County Public Schools, we recognize the importance of the school system on the economic development of this county. And we are committed to ensuring that our students are performing well, that we are graduating our students in a timely manner, that we're supporting our students in a very timely manner with all the resources, that we have the best teachers, the best principals, and the best facilities. I'll say this to you all as I pass the mic back to Felicia. As you know, we're currently, all of us, if you purchase anything in Clayton County, 1 penny on every dollar goes to build new schools in Clayton County Public Schools. On March 19th of next year, we will ask if you will continue that 1 penny on every dollar. We've got 3 new schools planned, 3 STEM schools, I want you to know. A STEM elementary, a STEM math, a STEM high school. We've got a college and career academy planned. We will be building an early learning center. an early learning center, and all of that will be predicated upon you passing the SPLOS. I can't tell you how to vote, but I can tell you this. If you don't pass it, you won't get those things. So you gotta decide what you really want to do in Clayton County Public Schools. Are our children worth it? You gotta make that decision. I would submit to you today, Clayton has the best facilities, and I've been in education for 25 years, and I've worked in Texas, Georgia, and Alabama. I can tell you right now, Clayton County has some of the best facilities. The best facilities, the best students, the best teachers, the best administrators, right here in Clayton County. Clayton County, all we've got to do is continue to get the word out. Do we have challenges? Of course we do. But I don't know of a school system in America that doesn't. Y'all hear me? The question is, are we addressing the challenges? And I would suggest to you, and all you got to do is go to the website, look at the data. All of our data will tell you that it is going in the right direction. The right direction. We are improving our school system. We're going to continue to improve. We will be one of the highest performing school systems here in the state of Georgia. We will be one in the nation. You should know we've got career pathways at all of our high schools. We've got a firefighter pathway. Our young people graduating, they are firemen. Isn't that right, Chief Merkel? Where are you? Where are you? They're firefighters. Not just young men, young women as well, right? We have a film and theater academy. We have, our board just approved a new medical magnet for Drew High School. We have an aviation pathway at North Clayton High School that we'll be implementing. You name it, Clayton County has it. We have IB programs, Cambridge programs, you name it. We are on the move. We're on the move. Discipline is improving. Don't make a mistake. Don't let one little advertisement on the news cause you to think all of our children do that. Most of our children, as a matter of fact, most of them, 99.99999%, come to school every day and they do the right thing. The problem with us as humans is sometimes we want to hear the bad before we hear the what? The good. And I would submit to you, we need to look for the good, hear the good, and we need you all to advance the good and share the good occurring in our school system. Why? Because it's all about our children. We have very good kids. So thank you for this opportunity. Felicia, do you want me to stay on the stage or you want me to go back to my seat?
You can go ahead and have a seat.
Thank you, ma'am.
If you'd like to.
Okay.
Give it up one more time for Dr. Morsees Beasley, the leader of Clayton County Public Schools, superintendent. And as he just stated, he is here to make sure that we move forward. We had a great meeting today, and I'm so excited about the strides that we're making in Clayton County Public Schools. Really quickly, I am one of the only commissioners, and I'm gonna say that I've got 4 kids, children that were in Clayton County Public Schools. Yes, we started over at Strong Rock with Mike Crawford, but I will tell you, it is because of Clayton County Public Schools that my son is now at MICA, which is Maryland Institute of College of Arts, and received $44,000 in scholarships. So when they tell you about Clayton County Public Schools, I'm not just here as a sounding board to be a commercial. I am here telling you what is really going on. I'm evidence of it. So thank you, Dr. Beasley, because he is out my house. Thank you, Lord. I love him, though. I miss him. And on his way. But I want to also bring up my dear friend, and then also the man that let us know that we need to get in here a little earlier and stop staying outside as long out there. But he's also one of my fellow Rotarians, and I'm so glad to have the talent of none other than Dr. Tim Hines as our president of Clayton State University. Please come on up, Dr. Hines. He's not only intelligent, y'all, but you got to be ready for his wit. It'll catch you afterwards.
That's half right.
You are a constant professor.
Well, let's see what they say after I'm stopped. The chairman said, well, what, are you going to talk all night? I said, no. I was told I could talk 8 minutes. Of course, I was told this started at 5:30. I had to pin in on my own program. Reception was 5:30. And then the welcome came when we finished recepting. I think you can get to the next slide, because I'm going to do three things. Right? The good thing about a promise of an organization is that it indicates when it's coming close to the end. I was told that this should be a discussion that introduced both the nature of the university, as well as the contributions that an institution of higher education makes to the economic present and future of a community. And I want to talk about three different ways in which that you can view the economic contributions of a university to the economic work of the community. And then I want to talk about some opportunities for the future. So we're off of this slide, and we get to the next one, which is a quick overview of us. We're at 7,000 students. We're at 6,000 10 years ago. We'll be 50 years old next year. We have more than 900 dual enrollment students, where the greatest growth in dual enrollment has come from students in the Clayton County schools. And that growth, quite frankly, is a part of the new leadership's commitment to challenging the students in this county to demonstrate to them and all others that our kids are just as prepared for rigor and high standards as anyone else, and they are demonstrating that. 25 students last year, at the same time they were getting a diploma from Clayton County Schools, got an associate's degree from our place. And I submit to you this is just the start. The largest number of graduates are in our programs in sciences and computer science, in health-related degrees, in business, in integrated studies. And the comment that I would make here is that each year we may admit, or historically admit, about between 500 and 525 first-time, full-time traditional freshmen. Last year we graduated 1,300 students. So we not only have a population that serves traditional students, but also have a population whose average age is close to 28 years old, in which the completion of degrees for individuals I like to refer to as born-again overachievers is an opportunity that my colleagues, my faculty colleagues, are able to provide those students. We're driven by a strategic plan, and I will put on tables in just a little bit some outline of that strategic plan. But I, for one, like to say that you don't know where you're going if you don't have a plan. The quotations that I use very frequently on our own campus is that a vision without a plan is just a dream. A plan without a vision is just drudgery, but a vision with a plan can change the world. And in a negative note, a vision without execution is hallucination. Good. So there are three ways, I think, at least three ways, to look at an institution of higher education, a university, as a driver of economic activity. The first is the one that many people want to look at and don't get past it, which is a university and university systems as consumers and business. We buy stuff, we hire people. And we can document that. The University of Georgia College of Business does an economic impact statement for the university system writ large each year. And the last year it was analyzed, fiscal year 2016, the university brought $275.9 million to this local economy based on the activity of our students, our faculty, and our staff. We created more than 2,500 jobs. Some on campus, most of them off campus. There are some who believe that all we're here to do is to fill up apartments. And as sad as that this information may be, that's not it. All right. We have about 1,100 beds on campus where our students are in residence halls. But it's important to recognize not just us, where we serve another 5,000 students or 6,000 students who are commuting in some way. But about 15 to 17% of our credit hours are generated in an online environment. And our institution is no different than others, where the future is going to have a brick and mortar component. But a significant portion of higher education's economic impact will be more focused on the second thing I will note, which is university as a provider of present and future talent. Right? It is as a driver of intellectual capital, whether that is provided by faculty and staff members, but more importantly, driven by students who either while they are students as interns or after they have graduated and are degree holders, provide the workforce for the future businesses and industries in this community. And it is the university's collaboration with all parts of the educational community, together with employers, people in the public, the private, and the nonprofit sector, who are going to be looking for their workers, that is at the heart of the economic future of the community here, South Metro Atlanta, Clayton County, and Clayton State University. Right? I mean, students will buy stuff while they're nursing students, but they will make us all healthy when they're employed by Southern Regional Hospital. Finally, the economic support from applied learning is something that is a third dimension of our economic contribution as an institution. And so, for instance, the Small Business Development Center, I hope, will be intimately involved in conversations with an accelerator or an incubator, which the county and which we learned tonight, Airtropolis, is very much interested in, and from which there is readily available expertise that can help steer us away from false starts and steer us closer to quick successes in helping people get to move forward. It is the case that in most communities there are two things that new businesses need in order to succeed. They need capital and they need guidance of how to wade their way through the local community. And those are things which the intellectual capital available here, we can help with the second part, as long as there are folks there that can help navigate the first part. Together, this kind of applied learning is something that the university contributes to the future economic development of this area. We believe powerfully in partnerships. I think I have been fairly straightforward and unambiguous in my conversation with the school system since the day I arrived in May of oh gosh, 2009. There are some people who thought because I wasn't a preacher I couldn't stay here, but I'm still here. And it seems to me that simple models that are associated with economic activity, that talk about working with your suppliers, knowing that 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 7 of our students will be from Clayton County, is knowledge now and in the future that Clayton County school success is Clayton State University's success. And Clayton State University's success, together with the school system, has a workforce, an educated workforce, as well as committed citizens who make for a better future of this county. I don't know, do I have any more slides? Oh, yes. So, oh yeah, we are also involved in airport growth. You've already heard that. The bus comes right by our front, and I'm hoping that some sort of high-capacity transit will be by the front door, because there are 7,000 people who will be there to be served by that kind of density that will make public transportation in the county work. Internships are things that will help our students and will help workers, and I provide an open invitation to others of anything else that we might do. I am at 8 minutes. And when the little hand is on Mickey's nose, it's time for Dr. Hines to sit down.
You know what? I told you have to be prepared for his wit, right? Thank you, Dr. Hines, for sharing such amazing information. I think that a lot of us may not be aware of who you are actually serving there at Clayton State University. So thank you so much, and you'll hear from Dr. Hines. We were saying that you're welcome to, and in fact, we go ahead and get Dr. Beasley up as well. If you could sit towards the end for now. We've got one presentation from our guest. And this is our guest. Thank you to none other than Georgia Power for making this happen. We have with us someone that will be able to bring a wealth of knowledge to all of our builders this evening. And it's none other than Eugene James, the Senior Regional Director for Metro Study. And he's going to bring us information about the housing industry, and he will highlight where Clayton County has been and where we're going and all about our bright future. Thank you for being here with us this evening. So glad to have you.
Thank you very much. This has been very, very educational even for me. And so I hope that I can continue helping to spread the word, the good word about things happening here in Clayton County. So before I begin, so it kind of makes sense who I am, what we do at Metro Study. We specialize in analyzing the housing market all over Metro Atlanta. We cover about 100 miles north-south, 100 miles east-west. And we've got a staff of people that go out and visit new home subdivisions every quarter. So some of the information I'm going to share with you in just a couple of minutes is first-hand information, it's proprietary information. But to understand the housing market, you have to have at least a general understanding of what's going on in the job market. So, obviously the job market's doing real well nationally. Here in Metro Atlanta, we're doing a very good job creating jobs as well. These are the primary employment centers throughout Metro Atlanta. You can see, if it's in pink, that's one of the biggest or major employment centers. So that's kudos to Clayton County, the fact that technically speaking, the airport is in Clayton County, right? Even though you don't get credit for it, it's physically in Clayton County, I believe. So here's the job market of the job. You guys in the cheap seats in the back are not going to be able to see these numbers, so I'll try to help you out and at least tell you the takeaway. So the takeaway with regards to job formation in Metro Atlanta is that we are doing a good job creating new positions each year. To take away all the noise, I usually tell people, listen, when you're listening to the job market reports, just try to hear what % change has occurred in jobs. So Metro Atlanta, we created job growth grew by 2.1%. Throughout the rest of the country is being represented by that black line. Metro Atlanta is the red line. And we know employment throughout the U.S. is doing real well. We've been creating jobs by around 1.5% rate each year. Metro Atlanta has been doing 2%. At one point in time, we were doing 3% job growth. So the takeaway is we are creating so many jobs here in the region that other people outside the region are deciding to relocate into the area, okay? In fact, the latest numbers that came out with regard to population growth shows that Metro Atlanta ranks number 3 in the country with regards to net migration, the net number of people that have moved into the area. So that's very good. But here's a surprising fact that I bet you maybe you do know. You guys are very well informed, but Clayton County, this is for all the counties all over Metro Atlanta, Clayton ranked number 3 with regards to population growth based off the latest and greatest numbers that just recently came out. So that, it's kind of amazing, even to me, and I consider myself pretty well informed, but I was pleasantly surprised to see the number of people that have been moving into the region. And as a result of all these new people moving into Clayton County, they need housing. And so that's the next thing that I want to talk about is the housing market. I divide housing market up into two large areas. Either it's a resale home or it's new construction. And my bread and butter really comes from the new construction market, but to understand and to make forecasts about what's going to happen with new construction, you have to understand the resale side of the equation as well. So this slide up here is just simply showing you on the resale side, what's the inventory look like, and just convert that to a month's supply figure. Normal for Metro Atlanta used to be to have around a 6-month supply of houses available so that when people go out to look for a home, it's there. Well, that inventory level has been so low now, right now it's hovering around 2.9 months supply. 6 months is normal, we're less than 3 months. It means that there's a tremendous undersupply of houses available for purchase. And when there's an undersupply of something, it also, simple economics 101, lots of demand, little supply pushes home prices up. And so I'm going to talk about Clayton home prices here in a minute, but this is a month's supply, how it looks on a county by county basis. It's low everywhere. It just so happens, let me see if I can, I've got a point. Clayton County has, it's the absolute lowest inventory level for homes available throughout Metro Atlanta. That's good and bad, but with inventory now at a historic low level in Clayton, it's starting to push, no, it's not starting, it has pushed prices up tremendously. The overall median resale home price throughout all of Metro Atlanta, by the way, Metro Atlanta is actually comprised of 29 counties. It's way too big, but the federal government says it's comprised of 29 counties, so it is what it is. But the median resale price is now $219. That's a record high, an all-time record high for median resale home prices, and prices jumped up almost 10% year over year. Now that's not sustainable. I don't like seeing home prices jump up by such a large percent in just 1 year, because obviously our income levels aren't growing that fast. Incomes are growing around 2 to 3% on average right now in Metro Atlanta. And so this is a busy slide, but it's showing me what are the resale prices on a county by county basis, and what percent did home prices change year over year. And so this is North Fulton County, and here's Clayton County. Now prices, it's one of the most affordable home prices in all of Metro Atlanta. But look at how prices jumped up 21% year over year in Clayton County. That's a huge jump, but it is still affordable. And because it's so affordable, you're gonna start seeing more and more people move into Clayton County looking for a home that they can afford to buy. And in fact, I've got lots of information to show that has already started to occur. That's one of the reasons actually why the population number is probably so high, is because folks have discovered Clayton County as a great place where they can actually afford to buy a home still. The colors are a little bit washed out. Let me show you what's going on. And I'm going to have to go back in history in Clayton County to help understand why all of a sudden things are starting to take off. The blue lines there represent arm's length transactions, home prices, as well as volume. That greenish, it's bleeding out because of the colors here. The green is foreclosure activity. So the takeaway is this, guys. In 2008 through 2013, we actually were seeing more foreclosed homes being sold than arm's length transactions. So a lot of, especially elected officials, they're probably like, oh God, take that off, take that off. But here's the good news. Look at this. On the far right-hand side, foreclosure activity or bank sales have now declined back to historic level, back to levels where they were back in 2005. Let's call 2005 a normal market. So, and then these bars, those lines here, are showing me what home prices are doing. Currently, resale home prices are now at an all-time high in Clayton County. And it's because we finally, it took a long time, but we finally just got rid of all the distressed assets. And now that they're out of the way, you're going to continue to see resale home prices climb, and you'll also see new construction return. Because for as long as the prices were so depressed, builders were having a very, very difficult time competing against those distressed assets that were being sold off at the bank. But all that's out of the way now, and so it's clear the runway for a lot more new construction activity to take place. Speaking of new construction, that leads me right into a couple more slides I want to share with you before we start the panel discussion. And so let's talk about the new construction market here in Metro Atlanta. So this is showing me how many new homes have started over the past 12 months. That's represented by the red line. The black line represents how many new homes have sold year over year. And I've got history, goes all the way back to 2002 versus where we are today. The big takeaway is, well, there's probably two takeaways. Takeaway number one, construction starts and closings activities up 10% year over year. Probably the second takeaway is, okay, we're doing around 25,000 new homes started each year now. Forget the peak that in 2006 those were artificial numbers. That's when if you could fog a mirror, you could have gotten a home loan. Those days are gone and they're not going to come back. But the takeaway for me is, in 2002, we were doing around 40,000 new home starts each year. I think there's still plenty of runway for Metro Atlanta to get up to and do about 40,000 new home starts each year. Some of you may ask, well, you know, who cares? It's new construction, so what? New construction has this huge spiral up effect on the job market. In fact, one of the reasons Metro Atlanta got hit so hard during the downturn is because when we stopped building houses back in 2009 and 10, it caused the job market to crash as well because of all the banking type jobs that are affiliated with new construction, mortgage type jobs, real estate agent type jobs. It's a huge, new construction has a huge spiral up. I think for every one new home that's created, it creates 3 new full-time jobs. So that's the region as a whole. Here's Clayton County. So let me back up real quick. In Metro Atlanta, construction starts and closings were up 10%. In Clayton County, construction starts up 18% and closings are up 17%. So it shows you how much stronger Clayton County is as a region as a whole. And you're going to continue to see large percent changes in new home activity because of some of the factors I just shared with you with regard to all that distressed inventory being out of the way and how home prices are starting to climb. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for the market. This slide here I use this slide to help me measure the health of the new construction market. It's showing me what is the month's supply for finished houses that have recently been built on a county by county basis. So the lower the number, the lower the supply. I know you guys in the cheap seats, you can't see the numbers. I'm going to show you where Clayton County is. Clayton County has the absolute lowest inventory level for new construction homes at only 1.2 months. It's unbelievable to me that it's actually that low. That's showing me a couple of things. It's showing me as soon as the builder can finish a house, someone's moving into it immediately. So it shows an extremely high level of demand for new homes in Clayton County, and builders cannot build fast enough to satisfy that demand. So that is quite amazing. There's quite a good story to tell for Clayton County. I'll show you 1 or 2 more slides. I'm going to talk about new construction price trends now, just for a couple of minutes. So the overall median new home price throughout all of Metro Atlanta, it's now at $287,000 is the price for a typical new home. These price points up here are showing you what the prices were year over year. So you see how it's starting to slope down? And some people may say, good Lord, how could that be? How could prices possibly be going down, right? No one's thinking that? Well, it's because home sizes are starting to shrink. It's not that prices are really going down. In fact, last year the typical median new home size was 2,900 square feet. This year it's down to about 2,800 square feet. When I convert that to a price per square foot basis, it actually shows that the price went up. The median price per square foot last year was $96 a square foot, and this year is $104. So home sizes are starting to shrink, and that's kind of a good thing as well, because builders are trying to figure out a way how to deliver a more affordable product so that it becomes more available to the masses. And that's what the general public is asking. I'm running out of time here, but the millennials are the largest home buyer population, whether it's for new or resale. Millennials are starting to say, hey, I don't want a 4,000 square foot house. I don't need it. I don't like it. I want something that I can lock and go. And so builders are starting to recognize that, and they're starting to try to shrink house sizes down for that reason as well. So here's a look at new home prices on a county by county basis, as well as the percent change in new home prices year over year. So I'll just point out Clayton County down here. It's still very affordable. The median new home price now is about $200,000 in Clayton County, and that's an 8% increase just from 1 year. Now let's drill down and take a look at, okay, Mr. Clicker. All right, I'm gonna have to nod at you. Can you, all right, there we go. And so here are Clayton County. I'm showing you new construction, volume of homes that are sold, as well as price points. So the volume of homes has not returned to where it was, but here's the price. We've hit an all-time record high for median new home prices in Clayton County as well. My guess is you'll continue to see that same trend line continue to ratchet up now that demand is so much higher than the supply of homes. And we've got one or two more slides. Let's talk about lot supplies. We're starting to have lot issues throughout Metro Atlanta. That red bar that actually went off the chart there, this is just Clayton County. So I'm showing you how many finished lots exist in the county, what's the month supply number looks like. When we stopped building houses, it caused the month supply number to go through the roof. But the takeaway is now the month supply number is back down closer to historic levels. So what does that mean to me? As an analyst, that means that pretty soon we're going to have to start seeing more development of finished lots come online. And if we don't start seeing that soon, we're actually going to run, we may run out of lots. And then that will cause a whole other set of problems to kick up. But I know there's certain companies that are starting to move dirt around and starting to create lots, and it's all because the demand is so high that we've absorbed a lot of those old lots that had gotten created quite some time ago. I'll wrap up by just showing you, well, right now, who are the bigger builders in Clayton County? It's mostly the public builders, D.R. Horton, and it's D.R. Horton because they figured out how much demand there is for new homes here in Clayton County, and they have a special focus on creating a first-time home buyer product. And I think that's the right move to make, to make sure if you're a builder to create product of various types, but the first-time home buyer market it's booming. There's plenty of more room for all type of building to take place in the region. And on that note, I'm going to end it, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so very much, Mr. James. Let me tell you, that was, you're going to continue to moderate in a second too, right? But you can have a seat, you don't have to stand all the time. That was some really good information. And I'm so glad to see that Madeline was in the room, as well as our communications director, as well as director of economic development, because too often I always say that sometimes you find yourself driving in a fog, and when you're in a fog, you gotta look close to the ground to see where you're going. But sometimes you don't realize the fog is lifted and you don't look up and see that you don't have to stay close to the ground. That's what this presentation did for us tonight, so that we can really see who we are and where we're going in Clayton County. And my takeaways as we bring everybody up really quickly was the fact that jobs and the job market are directly correlated to new production in a community. So as a community in Clayton County, we have to have the conversation of, do we really want to make sure that we got new jobs coming in? If we do, we gotta get that housing stock up a little bit. But what it also means is people are moving to Clayton County. Come on, y'all, get happy and excited about that. Even the police are clapping. That means y'all got more places to patrol, but that's all right, you can do it. We got a new graduating class coming in. Y'all are doing an amazing job, and they're saving money on their insurance. So thank you so much for that presentation. It was extremely eye-opening. I'm glad that we recorded it tonight, and we will share that again. Now, I'm going to bring everyone up to the stage, and this part is brief. We have a couple programmed questions that I think that they actually came from the audience, as well as from those that will be participating on the panel. We're going to ask everyone to please quickly come to the stage. We're going to call everybody up at one time because time is of essence. If we could have Heritage Construction, a representative, come up, as well as a representative from FYI Events. Four Winds Construction come up, Loggins, Kearns, and McCombs come up, as well as our dear friends from Georgia Power and Aerotropolis. We do want to present you with a certificate just to say thank you for this evening, and thank you for supporting this evening. We also got to bring up to the stage the man with the plan that keeps Clayton County water flowing, tasting so good. None other than Mr. Bernard Franks. He is the General Manager of Clayton County Water Authority. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming today. We're going to present you with this award and have you say hello. And we're going to get to the questions here. I'm giving you the wrong thing. I'm so sorry. All right. So you're going to go ahead and read it.
Go ahead and say hello.
Well, good evening to everyone. Good evening. It's my privilege to be before you. In fact, humbly, I'm before you now as the new general manager. Say I'm the first homegrown general manager here in Clayton County. And recently, I hired the first woman assistant general manager. So we're glad to have you. We supply you, we're service to the community. We supply you with some 26 million gallons of water a day. That's what you use. We have available some 58 million gallons of water. So come on, more houses, come on, more industries. So we're welcoming that. And that one award you saw up there is 1 out of 7 for 2017. So that's a little brag. My grandfather says it's not a brag if you're telling the truth. So we had 7 awards in 2017. We have 3 now in 2018, with probably about 5 more to come. So we are the best. I'm not bragging. We are the best. We're the only wetlands water treated facility in Georgia. I say we are the best in Georgia and probably the best in the nation. Anyway, that's just one statement from us as a water authority. Even though we are a monopoly in Clayton County, we would, if you had a choice, we want you to choose us. We're all about serving our communities. One more thing. We are directing our attention more towards our veterans. We're directing our attention more towards our first responders when it comes to whether it be discounts on water or discounts on facilities that we offer to our community. That's just something I had in mind. So I better stop there. Are there questions for me?
That was really important because you know why? Because we got a lot of new firefighters and police officers, and they can come buy houses in Clayton County.
Absolutely.
That's right. And they can get a discount. So thank you so much.
Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this microphone over to our amazing presenter, Mr. Eugene James, and he's got some questions to ask the panelists.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's get going. The Water Authority. Water is very important. Why don't we start right there? Mr. Franks, as community partners, Clayton County Water Authority has 3 pillars to support daily. Number 1, being innovative. 2, industry leading. And number 3, community focused, right? How are you living up to that promise?
Okay, well, you heard me speak a little earlier. That's correct, those are our 3 pillars. Community focused, you heard me talk about our first responders. I know that we're probably the most flexible water authority there is when it comes to working with our customers, when it comes to maybe low-income families, even when you're having problems with paying your bills. We make more adjustments for our residents or our customers than any. Innovative, we're constantly looking for ways to improve. We're already the only wetlands treated facility or water municipality in Georgia. So the statement, it always rings in Clayton County, that's true, because it's an odd saying is from toilet to tap, or vice versa. But in reality, we recycle all the water as much as possible that comes from, not necessarily septic tanks, but if you're on sewer, we are recycling that. So when other states, when Georgia is in a drought, Clayton County Water Authority, or Clayton County as a whole, is not in a drought. We have to abide by the rules because we're connected to Georgia. So we have a reliable and sustainable water supply. Being industry leading, that also goes hand in hand with that. Community focus is part of innovative. We are looking now at more ways to serve you as our customers. I guess you could say easy access to your information. And we have a new website that also is more directly connected to, I'd say, our community, where there are our younger community. We have to kind of focus our attention in on that. So everything that we do as a water authority is specifically directing its attention towards being innovative, industry leading. I told you we had 7 awards. We get about an average of 8 each year, from our water plants to our wastewater plants, to individual awards for our servants that are part of the water authority, all the way to even the cleanliness of our facilities. And we invite any of you to come out and visit our facilities so we can show the whole process. I had a video that I would love to show you, but time will not permit that, no doubt. But I'll stop right here.
Well, I tell you what, I've got one more question for you before we jump to another panelist. I work with a lot of builders and developers all over Metro Atlanta. One of the problems or complaints I hear is how long it takes to get a water meter. How about for you guys? How quickly or how slowly are you guys with responding to those that need a water meter installed?
Well, on average, and I say on average, it's about 2 weeks. Oh, no. It depends on the amount, I guess you say the amount of meters that are being ordered for a new community. There are opportunities that we have to put you on what we call a rush list. So it could even be less than that on average, could be about a week.
Awesome, very good, thank you. Lisa Smith, Georgia Power. I have a couple questions very quickly for you. Why do you feel community and economic development are good for communities like Clayton County?
So I think it goes without saying, when a community is thriving and healthy, then the individuals, the citizens, their quality of life is great. And so those citizens, when they're happy, they're healthy, they're economically in a good position, they spend money, they grow, their children grow, and it overall is just great for the community. One thing I would say about Clayton, I have never met, and I've been here about 3 years, a community leader, an individual who is not passionate about this community. And so each of our leaders, in their own way, they have very good intentions. So it's really great, though, when you see those leaders come together. And in the economic development model, which Georgia Power really serves the state when it comes to economic development, but the very foundation is about community leadership. So I just wanted to stress that tonight. To see the community leaders come together, that's an awesome thing. And so, again, a healthy community is really driven by economic development, so it's very important.
I guess to follow up on that, on your statements there, so how is Georgia Power getting involved with community and economic development?
There are so many ways, but I will say, just some of the examples, we have education coordinators who actually go into the school systems from elementary to high school, and they talk about STEM. It's actually a part of the curriculum where they teach about energy. That's one way. We have people solely dedicated to Clayton County doing a great job. We have volunteers who help with the nonprofits. So So for Martin Luther King Day, for example, we have over 200 volunteers annually who focus on specific projects in Clayton. We have in downtown Atlanta, we have we call it the Experience Center now, but it serves the state in terms of economic development. We don't try to make businesses who are considering Georgia Power customers. We feel if the state benefits, we all benefit. And so we're no longer, as you know, competing with our counties next door. We're competing with other states globally. And so we try to help make sure this county and other counties in Georgia are well represented in terms of statistics. We will provide information free of charge to communities. We will fly out and meet with prospective businesses. So we really court those businesses and try to get them to come to Georgia.
That's really good to know. Thank you for that. Let's jump over to the Clayton County Fire Department and David Vasquez. A couple questions for you, sir. How does Clayton County Fire Department help make the county a good investment for businesses?
All right, so when it comes to investment in Clayton County, one of the things that a developer is going to look at is, or somebody who's buying a home, is their fire department, their local public safety. And one thing that we have done in Clayton County over the past few years is last year we achieved a Class 1 ISO rating, which is the lowest rating that you can get, which means it drives down insurance rates for all of our, everybody who's buying property in Clayton County. And a few things that go into that is like water supply. I mean, we work with the Water Authority, they are the best. I will go ahead and say that. Our communications. A couple of years ago, we invested quite a lot of money into redeveloping and reinstituting a new communication system. So with fire, EMS, police, sheriff, and our surrounding jurisdictions can now talk to each other on the same radio frequencies. So with that, we're able to communicate. We're able to be more efficient on the emergency scene. Training of our personnel. Just a couple of years ago, we built a new regional training academy where, again, fire, law enforcement, all surrounding jurisdictions can come to our facility and train. Another thing is that we just upgraded all of our fleet, and that is another point when it comes to ISO, the age and condition of the fleet. We just did a huge SPLOS upgrade to all of our fleet. I think the oldest med unit that we have is now maybe, if not just 6 months to a year old, which is great when it comes to responding to calls. Our automatic and mutual aids are all done, and also our fire marshal's office. I'm the county fire marshal. What we do is we do all the annual inspections, and we're constantly making sure that all developers are in code, doing the annual inspections, and doing that community risk reduction. Another thing to invest in Clayton County is that not only did we achieve our Class 1 ISO rating, but we also got nationally accredited. And we are one of in the top percentile of the nation's fire departments that actually have a Class 1 rating and nationally accredited. So with accreditation comes an opportunity for us to do a self-examination, get better, make the community better, and that's how we do it.
That's very thorough. Thank you very much. That's quite a list. Are there any other services that you guys provide? That's
sure. Yes, we also have our emergency management agency is housed in the fire department. Our chief, Landry Murkison, is also the EMA director. So with EMA comes with your business or your home, we can do active shooter training, we can do CPR, AED training. We also can help you develop an emergency plan for your business. And we also do all the hazardous weather preparation. So everything that's going on with the new hurricane that's flowing through, if that were to hit here directly on us, we probably would not be here right now. We'd be stuck in our EOC for the next few days, monitoring that weather system. So along with that, and going along with our fire marshal's office, we also do we call HARM class, which is hazardous awareness for residential management. So starting last year, we brought all of our apartment complex owners, our townhome owners, We brought them in, and we were having a big issue with our apartment complexes being code compliant. So we were able to bring them in, teach them, educate them, and now we've actually seen the number of fire code violations decrease, which means our citizens in Clayton County are well protected.
Wow, congratulations on all of that. Thank you so much for sharing. Mr. COO, Dietrich Stanford, the Board of Commissioners has recently approved a new model for interfacing with the business community known as the concierge. What is that?
I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. No, the concierge service, one of the things that the Board of Commissioners and our collective leadership is trying to do is that we're trying to tell a better story about who we are as a county. The concierge model is analogous to if you go to a high-end car dealership, Tesla or BMW, oftentimes when you're conducting services, those services, you actually deal with one person, it's a one-stop shop. You don't deal with the parts manager. You don't deal with the parts manager. You deal with one person that kind of becomes a turnkey for you while you're in that space. So if you take that same concept and add that to what we call our concierge service, in our community development department and our Office of Planning, Zoning, and Sustainability, we will front end a lot of our work with our business community. Because one of the complaints and being very transparent with some of our challenges, our business community says it's very difficult to kind of get information through our business licensing process, and it becomes cumbersome and convoluted. So we figured the best way of doing that, we need to change the paradigm. So changing the paradigm, so we're front loading where that we have staff that will interface with our business community on the front end. They'll go through the business licensing process with analytics on the front end to determine how quickly we can get information through the pipeline, and ultimately we can kind of really measure our customer service effectiveness with our business community. So that's how we conceive our model.
Thank you very much for that. What has been the policy discussion regarding how Clayton County will address the needs of the business community?
Great question. One of the things from a policy lens, traditionally a lot of our economic development build out was facilitated through our economic development department. Through the efforts of our board of commissioners, we have recently developed what we call an intergovernmental agreement, an IGA, with our development authority. And if you've not had an opportunity to meet our new development authority director, Mr. Calfani Stevens, who's out in the audience, the goal there is taking that intergovernmental agreement, development authority serves as the primary face. They become the facilitator of the discussion, and then ultimately they go forth and help the county, what I call a three-legged stool approach. Those three tenets would be, one, how do we continue to develop relationships with our new businesses? How do we develop incentives, whether it's tax abatements, whatever it might be, to ensure that we incentivize those individuals to come. We can't forget about our present business community, so working with Jeremy and working with the Commissioners and Visitors Bureau and all the other sundry of businesses in the county, continue to work with them to try to figure out how we incentivize those relationships. And thirdly, what has been at the core of the discussion tonight is about workforce development. How do we now work with our school system, work with our colleges, with Dr. Beasley, Dr. Hines? How do we work with them to try to develop the skill set of those employees so therefore when the jobs are created or our old businesses need employment, they can go through the workforce development to ensure that those individuals are working, living, and playing in Clayton County as a whole. So that's kind of been the core to our strategy, working in conjunction with our policymakers with the board, working with the development authorities to also include the ward authority and some of the solid waste authorities collectively to ensure that we're working synergistically to make Clayton County a better place to live, work, and play.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that very thorough explanation. Shannon James, my namesake over here, Mr. Aerotropolis. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I scratch my head and say, what is Aerotropolis? What is that? Can you tell us? Act like I'm in third grade. Give me a third grader explanation of Aerotropolis.
Absolutely, and do love your last name, for sure. Aerotropolis is the coin phrase for airport city. And so what we do is really strategize around utilizing the greatest asset in the state of Georgia, more importantly the region in Hartsfield-Jackson, which sits in Clayton County. So the airport city concept that we work under is not a new concept. It's actually an international concept, which roughly 27 cities around the world have adopted. And so the theme that we run under is really structured by a gentleman named John Corsada. And John Corsada really thought through the strategy of utilizing an airport as an anchor institution and utilizing that asset to create more of a central business district where commerce and trade and opportunity can be generated by the driving force of a major asset that is both import and export driven, if you will. And so what we're doing is no different than any other aerotropolis that exists around the world, but what we're doing is trying to elevate it at a level different than other aerotropolis, and we're creating our own niche within our own region.
Okay, that leads me right into another question I have for you. You're saying all these wonderful things. How are you getting the word out? How does the world know about Aerotropolis Atlanta?
Great question. So we do that through multiple facets. I'll tell you that we have a very tight budget, and through that budget, marketing and advertising is probably the largest budget item, if you will. And I used to serve as the Investor Finance Committee Chair, so I know it well. And so through that marketing budget, we really think through strategy around what are the strongest outlets of our target audience, which we're hoping to attract and really control the narrative, the thought process around the opportunities and assets that exist in our market. And by doing so, we not only take that message domestically, but we also take it abroad. So just last month, I spent time in Edmonton, Canada, presenting to over 600 people about our concept and our strategy and our mission, and also spent several nights having dinner with developers and builders around what opportunities exist right here in our aerotropolis. And so much so that a few of them are actually committed to come down in a few months and attend our signature event, State of the Aerotropolis, in December. And so that's what we do. We go out and we travel. Matter of fact, I'll be in China next month. I'll be in Shanghai, spending time with very large institutions, very large corporations, recruiting, and also thanking some of the companies that are locally, that are headquartered in Shanghai. And then we're actually traveling over to Beijing, where I'll be speaking to another large sector group of individuals about our concept, and also to interested parties, developers, investors, if you will, about the large amount of undeveloped land and opportunity that exists right here in Aerotropolis.
Very good. Thank you so much for that, and good luck to you. Bring that business in.
Oh yeah, that's my mission.
I want to jump down to Clayton County schools before we wrap up with. Let's jump down to Clayton County University first. Here, very simple question for you, sir. With regards to folks that are graduating from Clayton State University, how do you go about assisting those graduates with finding employment?
We start from the freshman year with two statements. First, we get them to the Career Services Center to begin the process of sensitizing them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and it's not a train.
Right.
The second is we create within the classroom environment a connection, very similar to one of the projects that I heard Dr. Beasley and his team describe this morning, of explaining how things learned within a classroom environment have an external application elsewhere. So if you know history, that knowledge of history is useful in participating in management decisions, for example, in organizations. And so it is integrating the notion that what you learn has application elsewhere.
Right.
That creates the conditions in which, together with internships and career services, students are prepared upon graduation to enter the job market.
Perfect. That's wonderful. One more question for you. Out of curiosity, what type of employer seems to primarily be coming to your doors these days asking for potential employees?
It's a wide variety of public, private, nonprofit institution. It's most of our graduates, as I indicated, are in business, in computer science, in hard sciences, in nursing and healthcare. And so they have a fairly straightforward connection to employment opportunities.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And last but not least, Dr. Beasley, I saved you for last because I have the tough questions for you. As we all know, the media has well, if it bleeds, it leads, right? The more horrible the news is, the more it's all over the media, right? I'll share something with the audience before I ask you the question. I do a lot of speaking engagements, and for the longest time, we all know that once upon a time, Clayton County schools lost their accreditation, and they got it back. So I used to ask the audience, after they got the accreditation back, and this was like a year or two after they got the accreditation back, and I would say, by show of hands, do you think that Clayton's ever going to get their accreditation back? Or do you think they'll get it back within the next year? 100% of the hands would go up, which told me nobody knew that they got their accreditation back. And I used to think to myself, my God, Clayton County Schools has a horrible public relations problem. They may have very good schools, but the rest of the world, outside of this room, I know you guys know, it seems like people just don't know that. What are you doing these days to get the word out outside of Clayton County that the schools are quality schools?
Well, that's a good question, and one answer would be, that's why I'm sitting here today, right? To ensure that we get the word out. And so one of our areas of focus, clearly, as cemented in our strategic plan, would be communications, engaging our public relations, governmental relations, etc. And so we have expanded our communication of the good work that's occurring in all of our schools. So you'll see a very live, visible footprint on all the social media platforms. We have expanded our relationship with all the media outlets, radio, television.
Great.
So you should hear Clayton quite often, and we're very pleased that we have good relationships with the television stations, and they really cover our events. They are pushing the word out as we send the word to them. We have a relationship with the county, with the chamber, with the Aerotropolis, and they're pushing out the information on all of their platforms. We have expanded right now. All of our parents are getting the information. We have a platform that our parents use to check grades on. And so we know if parents are checking grades, and it's our expectation that they are, we use that platform to push out every announcement. So when parents are checking grades, they get all the great news, all the announcements. We're using every relationship that we can develop to push out the information. We developed a relationship just this evening with the builder sitting over here, Heritage Construction. And so we'll add them to our communication effort. As a matter of fact, we've already made a decision to create a brochure just for builders to push that information out to those who are interested in purchasing in their various subdivisions, etc. So those are the opportunities that we're looking for. If we find gaps, we will fill those gaps. And we believe that the word, through our various critical conversations, through our advisories, the word is getting out there. But most importantly, we serve 55,000 students, which impacts the households in this county. We've got to have quality service, quality schools, and ensure that they have good experiences so they will become the mouthpieces, if you will, the ambassadors of the great work that's occurring in our schools. And our principals know that. We're training them, and it's our expectation that when you walk into our school, this is our premise. I don't care what's happening in the community or where the school is located. There is a culture of excellence in Clayton County schools. We invite everyone into our culture, regardless of the culture that they may be in. We invite them into our culture when they walk into our schools, central office, in any of our facilities. And we know that they will then become the ambassadors for this culture of excellence that exists in our schools.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, and congratulations to you. Congratulations to all of you. Do we have any time for questions from the audience?
What is Clayton County Schools doing to prepare students for college? For example, many students may be in AP classes here. Many students may be in AP classes here in Clayton County where they have great grades. But when they go to attend college and take the initial exams, they're placed in remedial classes. So there's a gap somewhere. How is that being resolved? Secondly, the core subjects. can they, and I know a lot of them are using computers now, but when you actually talk to the students out in the public, how many of them actually can, for example, some of them are cashiers. If the cash register broke, how many people actually add? How many of them have oral presentation skills? How is that being stressed? We're focusing on STEM, which is wonderful, but the core values of core education, what they need in order to make it in the society, to be able to compete globally now instead of just locally or within their various cultures. How is the school preparing them for that, and how can we as residents here help the schools?
Some pretty tough questions there.
Well, I'll take a stab at both questions. The first question relative to students who are taking certain courses and going to college and having the need to take remediation. We are working on teacher quality in our district. We've identified a set of instructional expectations. We're teaching higher order thinking skills in all of our classrooms and all content areas, K-12, even pre-K. We're monitoring that. We're also ensuring that our students take full advantage, if you will, as Dr. Hines mentioned earlier, of the advanced placement dual enrollment opportunities. We're monitoring the data that is released by the university system to see that hopefully, and we're confident that less of our students will need remediation. We're identifying right now, and sadly, it's the case, but until last year, which was my first year superintendent, we had a lot of students with deficits in reading and math, and we just assumed that they would address those deficits as they matriculated. But we identified a tool to help teachers, principals, parents, families, to identify what deficits they have in reading and math and to address those. So the teachers are doing what they need to do in the classroom, but students, when they're at home, they have tools that they can log into and address those reading and math deficits. So we believe over time that the problem that has clearly increased over time will be rectified over time, and our data is suggesting that we're improving in those areas. Yes, sir.
So at the same time, the university system of Georgia has looked at students who have to begin remedial courses, and the data has suggested that they have not been very successful in making progress towards degree. So throughout the university system, remedial courses have been rolled into freshman courses for English and mathematics, so that rather than being separate, are a co-requisite. So remedial activities plus normal materials are provided, and it jumps the success rate anywhere from 10 to 25% for students who still are coming to us who may not be as prepared as they would have ordinarily been. There's a conjunction between the State Department of Education and the University System of Georgia to address exactly the question that you posed. I'll let him answer what happens when the cash register breaks down. I have a degree in mathematics, so I'm okay.
And I do as well, so I'm okay. You should know that our data is suggesting, based even from last year, based on the 2018 spring data, that more of our students are identified as college and career ready than previous years. So we know that our efforts are having an impact. And over time, we will see more students college and career ready. Now, relative to your second question, there are clearly opportunities to ensure that our students learn these basic and soft skills. Not just doing mathematics, but customer service, how to speak well. So we do focus on the 4 C's: critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and there's another one, I can't even think of it. Cash, right. But we do focus on that. We have currently our teachers are working to ensure that our students are writing in every classroom, because we believe that writing also helps with the communication. They are teaching the math. We're seeing an increase in the number of students who are moving to proficiency in mathematics. Relative to the soft skills, you should know in Clayton County, in all of our career technology courses, we build into the curriculum the soft skills: how to interact with individuals, how to solve problems, how to work in teams, how customer service, etc. That is a part of our curriculum. You should know that in our school system, the students who are participating in career pathways, they graduate at a rate of 93%. 93% in our school system. Those students are often college and career ready. They have credentials. And so I would just say to you, go to our website. The data is out there. Do we have opportunities? Yes, we do. That's why we need families to help us when children are signing up for classes. Make sure it should be the expectation of every family that their child is in a career pathway. You don't let a child come into a high school and go through 4 years and the child doesn't complete a career pathway. And we're fortunate that if they want to do more than one pathway, they can do more than one pathway. And so, yes, the school system has a responsibility, but if anyone knows me, I've raised 4 children. It is just not the school system's responsibility. It is the responsibility of parents as well to ensure that children are taking the courses that they need in order to position themselves to do well in careers and college. All of us have to work toward improving that outcome.
Wow, that statement right there is truly a mouthful. Please give our panel a hand. Please give our amazing presenter this evening, as well as moderator, brought to us by our sponsors, none other than Mr. Eugene James, a hand. You did a phenomenal job. Thanks for keeping us on track. But let me tell you the power of this evening really quickly. Where else have you seen in Clayton County to have all these entities on one stage together, presenting to those that are building in our community? And you heard it earlier that our homes and the stock of our homes is directly correlated with those in our community and the income levels in our community. And we heard the best news tonight, that we're on the uptick right now because we have pretty much seen all of our stock of homes that were hit by the foreclosure crisis have now moved on to more arm's length transactions. So we are so excited for where we're going. We're so excited for this panel taking time to come with us this evening. I'm so excited for you all to help push us in a new direction. It is a new Clayton County, I'm telling you all. So let's stop talking about the things of old. History is good, but at the end of the day, history is gonna always be history. The only way we're going to be able to create a new story is we get together and we put our hands to the plow, our feet to the ground, and begin to work together, as Dr. Beasley said, and then just spread the good news of Clayton County. Tell everybody about what happened this evening. We recorded this purposely because we're going to continue to air this. So we're so excited for this evening, glad to hear such great information shared. And we're going to go ahead and close it out once again with thanking all of those that came to make this happen. Make sure that you tag us on Facebook. Make sure you go to the website, learn more about Clayton County. And if I may urge you to do this as we leave. Our superintendent is one of the very first superintendents since I've been here over 20 years to have as many meetings with the community as he has had. And so I urge you, if you have any other questions, or if you have any doubts of where we're going in our community and in education, sign up, get on the website, learn what we're doing, get involved. Make sure that you come to one of his meetings. He's very transparent, the board is very transparent. We work together. Just this morning, we were having a meeting at 10 o'clock with myself, Dr. Hines, Dr. Beasley, and others in the community, coming together to really do the heavy lifting. So we got a ways to go, but the one thing we didn't talk about today was the fact that we got one of the #1 senior services here in Clayton County. So we didn't talk about the opportunity as we close out for those like, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell Miss Joycelyn Lee over there, she'll wave her hand, who moved from Tyrone, Georgia. And she said, we came to Clayton County because Clayton County has amazing amenities, amazing services, and not only that, I can get a home for a fraction of the cost anywhere else. So that's a community that I don't know that we've tapped into, but we have a growing community of what I call active seniors. And if you've never been to one of Clayton County Senior Services events, you better put Mayfest on your calendar. In fact, we're gonna send that out. It is the biggest senior party in the state of Georgia. And I think they were going for a record in the United States as well. So learn more about Clayton County. We are Clayton Strong. And I'm just so glad that you all came to spend your time with us this evening. One more time, thank you to my right hand, none other than Mr. SHAHEEN Solomon, as well as our entire volunteers and staff. And we look forward to doing this again. Have a good evening, everyone.